I did have two PlayStation 2s. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I had put a hard drive in, and somehow I fried the PlayStation 2 with that hard drive. I don't know what, there was something wrong with that hard drive,
Yeah.
what happened, but yeah, that one died. But this one, the original, lasted for years.
Yeah, and this TV too, we had, was this the one that your folks got us, or is that a
Yes,
different one?
this was a
Okay.
wedding gift.
This was a wedding gift, which was a really big thing for us. We were very thankful, and it was a big purchase. And now it's funny to look at the style of these TVs. And
I know. Well, that thing weighed a ton.
was
That's
so
a
heavy.
that's a
Yeah.
36-inch. I think it was Panasonic TV. Expensive TV.
Yeah.
But man, that thing was a beast. It must have weighed 100 pounds. And they didn't have any handles on the thing.
No. And look at our antenna.
Yeah, I know. What's weird, that's the only position I could get TV with, was putting it that way.
Yeah. I don't think we ever paid for cable or anything, did we?
Not back then. I don't think we did.
Interesting. Daylight savings time.
But then once we had the PlayStation 2, we had a DVD player.
Right.
And we didn't have any DVDs that night. So the next day I went out and got The Matrix.
Isn't that funny to think there was a point where we didn't own any DVDs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PS2.
What is that?
That was my amplifier. I'm turning it down. I don't remember what brand amplifier it was, but those are JBL speakers there. And you could see on the stand all my PS1 games, which were compatible with the PlayStation 2.
The bad guy.
You can kind of see in my face how tired I am. Yeah, there, I'm rubbing my eyes. And there's my USA Today shirt.
That's interesting. It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lot better than that.
Right.
Well, that was different than the other controllers.
That was
Yeah,
good.
I forgot the buttons were pressure sensitive on that.
Yeah, you were pretty excited about that.
Yeah,
These parts of it.
turned out to not be that big a deal. In fact,
You have all the blocks that
not
used to
big
have
deal
that
at all.
So I think in the actual video of The World News Tonight, it was just like a 3-second thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, I think, 6 or 7 seconds
Okay.
of
How many
this
cars are there to pick from?
whole thing.
Yeah,
Ended
I think it
up-
was like this shot of you
yeah.
playing. or something,
Is this
but-
like the other you buy after you win?
I think
You know,
so.
and
I don't
they said it was an interview, but really they're not doing, they do ask us questions, but here they're just kind of, they wanted us to just play the thing.
Well, I've been impressed with it ever since I've been reading about it on the internet for a while and downloading video clips, and it's just amazing to me how far technology has come.
I think what she asked there was, why did I buy the PlayStation 2? I'm not sure. I couldn't hear it in the thing, but if I recall, she asked a lot of questions like that.
Since, well, my first system was an old Atari 800 computer back in 1979, so things have changed a lot since then.
Yeah, and weren't you the first kid on the block to have one of those computers for you? Back
yes.
then, you were
Yeah.
you were the cutting edge kid. in the
Well,
neighborhood.
Jason across the street, he was the first kid on the block to get an Atari 2600.
Okay.
And I was jealous, and Jimmy Vega, he was very jealous. We'd go over and play that 2600, and then I got the Atari 800, which the graphics are so amazing compared to, I've always kind of enjoyed newer technology after that. That Atari 800 was a great system. In fact, you Commodore 64 people are not going to like to hear this, but technically, in many ways, it was superior to the Commodore 64. The audio, the SID chip on the Commodore was maybe better, but it only had 3 sound voice channels instead of 4, and it wasn't that big of a difference. The Atari 800 had, much better, way more colors. Commodore had 16, Atari had 256. Anyhow.
How long were you on the waiting list, so to speak?
Well, I think I signed up sometime in late January, early February, when I first saw the sign that you could take early sign-ups.
Yeah, so back then that would have been like you literally went to the store and put your money down and filled out the thing, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays it would have been all online or pre-sale, that type of thing. But back then it was significantly different.
Keep it up, baby. You know you can do that. Beautiful, tough guy, really beautiful.
Yeah, and I loved that PS1, so I was really excited about the PlayStation
Right.
2.
Yeah, it is.
Had read about
real good.
the amazing draw distance, which that is why. Yeah, let me pause it. That's why I put that game as my first game, because I had been reading in the magazines about whatever you can see in the background, you can drive to. Well, that just wasn't something that was ever
Right.
done on the PlayStation 1 or any of the previous systems. They always had this, these 3D games, you'd have like kind of a clip in, or they'd try to hide things through fog. And so your draw distance always felt very constrained or almost claustrophobic. Things would just suddenly appear in front of you, which kind of ruined the illusion.
Yeah.
Let's get one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now let's see you do some delivery work. Nothing too tough. There's no
And then you can play CDs, music
Yeah,
CDs
music
as well.
CDs. Yeah.
So it's
It's just a lot sharper than the
looks
other
great.
systems. The S video helps too, though. It looks really sharp.
Takes a
That's
second to load
funny.
though.
S video. You look at an S video on a CRT
It's probably
nowadays,
got a
and
lot
it doesn't
more
look sharp
information
at all
it's gotta
compared to.
load compared to the
Yeah.
old system.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot faster than some of the games I've got that take forever.
Yeah, it wasn't. It did have a bit of a long load. Now, one thing about someone asked a question, and it was about that PS2, or whether I was disappointed. I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I think the early games. This was a great game. Madden was good, but I was expecting maybe just a little bit more than what I got at first. Now, later, the PlayStation 2 delivered with games like God of War, Jack and Dexter. There were so many amazing looking games, but the early games, they had some jagged edges. The one thing the PlayStation didn't do well was anti-aliasing, that the Dreamcast did a lot better with. So I think at first some people considered the Dreamcast a better system just because of those sharper visuals. Now, programmers did get better at doing anti-aliasing on the PlayStation 2, and it was able to push more polygons, higher resolution textures. It was a great system.
Ooh, I like how you can see all the way to the back.
Yeah.
There it is with that long draw distance.
And there's not a set course, you go wherever you want.
No. Complete freedom on this one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's why I wanted it.
Yeah, this was a great game. I did that video of it a few months ago, and I really enjoyed playing it again.
Is it worth the wait?
Oh, yeah.
Was it worth the wait?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he's getting that controller zoomed in view again. Guess he wants to point out that it's a dual shot.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, and this whole thing is kind of awkward because we were sort of like, what are we supposed to do
So,
for how
what's the
long?
big deal? What's the appeal? If somebody's not real familiar with it and stuff like that, and they don't, what's the big deal? I don't quite understand. What's all the excitement about PlayStation 2?
It's kind of funny. A lot of people, when they've watched Vampire Robots video, they criticize her for asking that question. But that's not a surprising question coming from a non-gamer.
Right.
They don't understand that the increased visuals and the
Right.
better
And that's who
AI.
their audience would have been for World News Tonight. They're
Right.
wanting it for a broad audience.
Yeah. So I think the criticism of her there is maybe
If
Be
somebody's
too
not
harsh.
real familiar with it and stuff like that, and they don't, well, what's the big deal? I don't quite understand. What's all the excitement about PlayStation 2? What is the excitement? What is it about?
It's just that the games can be so much more lifelike. The system has a much higher polygon count, which allows for more realistic looking characters, cars, whatever your game is, and then also the the processor in it is so much faster, allowing for more realistic artificial intelligence, and it's just all around. It's a much more powerful system than anything that's out there. It's the best that's out there now. So, and I always kind of like to have the new gadgets. When the first PlayStation came out, I had to get one of those, and same with some of the other systems.
You're definitely a gadget guy.
Do you share
I
this
know.
enthusiasm for gameplay, or are you like a,
I don't play
like,
games.
like those golf widows,
I'm the cheerleader. I totally support him in all this. I don't play any of them. I love to watch him and help him along, but I don't play any of them. But I'm excited about it. He's been waiting a long time, and it's been a good 9-10 months. And the last couple days have been really long. Today was really long, and it was exciting. So it was fun being down there and getting it. And he was number 13, but other people ended up cutting in front of us, so that was kind of pretty bad. But but it was fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it was a lot of anticipation before. I do remember that whole countdown, like 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. Okay, so many hours. Like it was a big deal when this was coming on.
Yeah. Yep. And I get a lot of comments about how supportive you've been. You've been that way our whole lives. This is an amazing wife. I love her dearly. And yeah, you've always supported my hobbies. Now, this wasn't my only hobby, because a lot of people have made the comment that she lost me that day. Do you feel like you
Oh,
lost me?
no.
No.
Well, the lady asked me, "Are you like a golf widow where you're just playing video games all day long and you're never home and I never see you and that type of thing?" So no. I think people whose husbands are super into sports and watch Sunday football all day and college sports and whatever would have less time with their husbands than I lost with you on any time you played video
Yeah.
games. So.
And I always tried to put you in the family
Yeah.
first.
And I did hang out with you while you played them.
Yeah.
And help you with puzzle games and things
Yep.
like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Depending on what it was.
Now, you used to play the survival horror ones
I know,
with me,
but they were just too much.
she's gotten so now she
Yeah.
can't deal with survival horror games
No,
for
I don't
some
like those.
reason.